do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Wherever I go, he goes.
When people ask you what happened here, tell them the North remembers.
And here we go.
What's up, everyone? I'm Zach Williamson. This is the Culture Crab Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Ross Cuts for today. We're talking House of the Dragon, Episode 3. We're not doing Rings of the Power yet. We're going to wait until we can get Luke on that, and we're going to probably do the first 3 episodes on the back half of House of the Dragon E4 podcast, so next week. This is probably the strongest episode of the season so far. They had great action at the very end of the episode. All the build-up towards that was very Game of Thrones. There's a ton of symbolism. There's a ton of parallels back to Game of Thrones. Man, it was just a solid episode, and this show hasn't missed yet, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yes.
In the beginning, dude, oh my God, the death helped me print. That was one of the funniest deaths in Game of Thrones. I think that was the funniest death since when the mountain grabbed that one fucker and smashed his head into the wall. That was probably the one I laughed at the most since. Yeah.
The zombie mountain?
Yeah, right off the bat in the episodes. And I think that was Daemon's only dialogue in the whole episode. He didn't even say anything at the end of that episode, too. It was just a badass and basically took over the episode.
Yeah, from the moment when he came off of the island, when coming onto the beach.
Even before that, he didn't say anything. He just...
No, yeah.
He's like, fuck you, Viserys. I'm doing this myself.
The intensity was really high because of the background music and how little dialogue there was in it really brought out the music and the intensity. It was sick.
Also, the score... even earlier in the episode, there was the score when they're in the tent and they're talking about succession and all that stuff. That score was very eerie and dark. Really liked that. Foreshadowing even a little bit.
I've been liking the score as well.
Yeah. Lannisters are still slimy motherfuckers.
Yep. Jason or whatever his name is.
Ashamed of these boys.
That play to go on the beach was bold. Going back to Daemon. When he went onto the beach and just went for it, it's like, this fool is dead.
He needed a moment, though, like this. Yeah, because up to this point, we've seen him, he really got bested by Sir Criston Cole. He's just been kind of lashing out. He hadn't done anything crazy badass. Well, he's been kind of badass, but this is a defining moment for Daemon right here. No.
I feel like with Sir Criston Cole, though, he kind of won, right?
Nah, remember, he got bested. He got knocked off the horse.
Okay.
Kind of won
in the joust. He lost for sure. But then when in single combat he won, and then Cole was on the ground and he turned to the crowd, and then Cole got back up.
Yeah, but who knows what the rules are, bro?
He didn't even seem like he was really trying either. I guess he never explicitly said I surrender, and he laughed after he got on top of him. He's like, nice one.
He just got cocky, man. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
In these rules of jousting, it doesn't seem it's either over until someone's dead or you yield. You say you yield.
Yeah. Because he never explicitly said it, you're right. Yeah. I think Criston Cole is pretty raw too, though.
Criston Cole is being established as a very badass Kingsguard guy, for sure.
How did you like the side story of the hunt? It was kind of like a circus almost, but they were just out hunting. Not a circus, but a big royal affair.
I liked it. I think that this was one of the biggest things in Game of Thrones that George R. R. Martin had a problem with, because he even said that if for Robert Baratheon's King's Hunt, if there was something like that, there would have been hundreds of people. It would have been a big party. It would have been exactly like this. So this seems like something that they did because of George R. R. Martin's complaints about the first season, even though he knew that they maybe didn't have the budget to do that early in Game of Thrones. And I'm not sure if he even wrote a scene like that I can't remember if he wrote a scene like that even in Game of Thrones for Robert Baratheon. But yeah, that was all good. And you could even see that Viserys, he's out there doing his duty. He doesn't like doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, he definitely looked uncomfortable.
He's getting hammered before it, bro, because he wanted to be drunk during he doesn't like doing this.
He's a lot like Robert in that aspect. It seems like he doesn't want to be king.
That's what I mean. I think it's showing a lot of what Robert had to deal with as king with this too. Just constantly people trying to take your position, undermine you, scheming. It's just all this, constantly trying to court and make your house better and position your house better, dude. It's helping show even for Robert Baratheon what he was going through. I agree.
Yeah. and they didn't really want to do any of the nitty-gritty work, anything with logistics and numbers. They kind of just wanted to make appearances and drink and have the appearance of a king and talk about more frivolous things, is what I was getting from both of them.
I still think there's aspects of the king that this guy likes, Viserys, but you can tell that, man, he's missing fingers now. He's definitely feeling the brunt of being the king. It's been 14 years, but he's definitely getting older and literally getting sick from the throne, and you can see him sort of wearing down. And
bro, I would stop sitting on that.
Seriously, well, the thing is with it was designed to be that way. It's designed to be uncomfortable to sit in. That was how Aegon designed it. Yeah. And that was the whole point too, is that you're supposed to not lose your cool in it, because if you do, you could fucking cut yourself or be like Maegor and cut your wrists open. That's alleged. Allegedly he cut it on his wrist, or someone took his arm and just stabbed it right into there.
Assassinated him.
Yeah.
He's kind of a fucker, so. Which
is more believable. I'm into that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what else happened? Man, there's good lore building in this episode, too, with her playing that song. That song definitely sounded like Rhaenyra and the Thousand Ships.
Yep, that's what I thought, too. Because they were talking about the ships crashing, right?
Mm-hmm. She kept singing
I don't know. There's something in the lyrics that I was like, yeah, this sounds like Rhaenyra. But
Nymeria, did I say that wrong? Nymeria.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Nymeria. Obviously, there's a lot of symbolism in this, too. Even after the episode, the showrunners went into it about how this was a journey for Rhaenyra and Daemon and how they came out of this whole episode with a new purpose as a different person. Same with Viserys too, kind of.
Yeah, they all have some new perspective on what I guess their goal is. Because I'm rewatching now, and it's showing all these other side characters too. They introduced a lot of new characters now. They introduced the Strongs a little bit more. You got the one with I don't remember what is wrong with his foot, but that guy very easily snuck his way in with all the most powerful women in the realm and was hearing their secrets and stuff. That's very Littlefinger.
That's like Littlefinger-esque.
What's the other guy? Varys? Yeah, it's very, it's getting knowledge without actually having to have a spy or anything. That was interesting there. And even the other strong guy, they showed him, and he was stoked when Rhaenyra came back all covered in blood. Everyone else is disgusted, and he's just grinning, loving it. So I think that he's going to be a character too. And the dad is definitely his most loyal confidant or whatever.
Yeah. He seems the most impartial too. He's not just looking out for his own gains.
His family.
He seems like he's really trying to tell him the best decision.
Agreed. Yeah, which I think is the best decision. Rhaenyra, she should marry. That'd probably be the best move right now. But he wants her to decide. Yeah. I like that he said that too. He said, well, you pick.
I know that makes sense. I liked all that. That made sense for their characters and their political aspirations as well.
And Rhaenyra was just best in all those old grandmas too.
With her wit?
Yeah. And a fun tie too. The red wine, the red wine family, they are connected to the Tyrells because of what's her name? Lady Tyrell, the grandma, I forget her name. Lena Tyrell. Somehow they're all connected, even though she's also a Hightower. So she was a Hightower and a red wine. Those were like her lines, almost very positive.
Oh, shit. That's a strong match for, I don't remember who she married.
Yeah, and that's only a couple generations different. She was pretty old, so that would only be 100 years probably-ish before she's born.
Yeah. Probably around there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
really good lore building. When we get an action scene, it's always so dope now. I'm so invested in the political side of this show, man.
Yeah, I think the action's pretty... This show definitely had the benefit of Game of Thrones coming before it and building up that brand because, like you were saying earlier, Game of Thrones didn't have that budget for a couple seasons. And this show, immediately, season 1, already has the same budget as like season 6, 7, and 8.
Bigger.
And exactly. Like it is
still under 20. Still under 20 million, but bigger than season 8 of Game of Thrones. I think season 8 of Game of Thrones was somewhere between 18 and 20 million an episode, and this is right under 20 million. But also, bigger sets. You got COVID too, so I think that might have bumped the budget up too with delays and trying to be more safety. And there's more dragons and more attention to detail, man. I mean, some of their clothes just have such cool fucking things that they've embedded him in the armor all looks so legit. Everything about it just feels high production value, especially when you compare it to some of the other high production shows we've seen recently, like Obi-Wan Kenobi had aspects of that show that looked so cheap in comparison. And this show is doing a lot of the same stuff they're doing in the volume. They're doing real sets. They're building stuff. It's just night and day, man.
The one aspect of the show, I think the time skips are definitely handled and just...
I think they're handled really well, man. You don't agree?
No, that's not what it is. I think the time skips and the pacing in general is handled a lot better than Game of Thrones season 7 and 8.
Of course. I mean, of course, bro. I mean, that's like... it's hard to even compare it to that because that clearly was, that's a whole different situation where the showrunners were literally like, no, we are doing 8 seasons. George R. Martin saying, I want you to do 10 at least. I think it should go 12 to 13. HBO's like, you guys should do more seasons, but they didn't want to. So they
wanted that Star Wars trilogy. I know.
No, I think they're doing really well with this. The one thing was what's his name, Lenore Valerian, bro. That guy aged up quite a bit. Once he went to war there,
big time. He looks completely different, and that was only like 2 or 3 years later.
I actually think the actors look pretty similar, but yeah, he looks like he went from kid to grown ass man. 3.5 years.
He grew a lot. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I guess we didn't even get to see him that much in the first couple of episodes, kind of on the side a little bit. And then this one, he had a more prominent role.
Right. He's only in the first episode, and they only show him during the tournament. But he looked young.
Yeah. No, he looked very young. And then, 2 or 3 years go by? Dude, motherfucker.
3.5 since then.
3.5, yeah.
And they've been at war for, 2 years? 2.5 years? 3 years?
Yeah. No, I think it's, 2 to 2.5.
It might be 3, man. I mean, they were going to war at the end of the last episode, which was 6-month jump. So I think it's been almost 3 years that they've been at war now.
It's definitely in that range, somewhere around there. It's been a bit. So Daemon now is King of the Stepstones or King of the Narrow Sea?
He gets that title. Point? They give him King of the Stepstones, and the Narrow Sea is a title that he's given in the book, which I'm assuming they're going to give him that title. Because in the books, though, it's a little different, man. He stays there and rules it for a bit until Viserys is like, okay, come back to King's Landing. We need to figure some stuff out. Because it feels like the next episode is then about to have another time jump, which I didn't actually watch the trailer for this next one, but I'm assuming that they're going to do a time jump again here, and then we're going to get a big time jump within the next 2 episodes, and I bet it's going to happen within an episode that they're going to do a time jump to show these couple other characters who are children when they're closer to their 30s. Rhaenyra, Alicent, the other Valerian daughter.
I'm thinking the time jump is definitely going to happen is in episode 5 probably. Maybe at the end or the beginning.
It could even happen. It could happen at the end of the next episode, man. Shit.
True.
I don't know. It could. We'll see. Yeah.
I think they need the full next episode to flesh some stuff out, but I don't know.
Bro, what you think about Pugs? Some of these dogs and pretty modern animals.
Dude, I was very pulled out by that. I also remember what I was going to say earlier, but as soon as I saw that pug, I was kind of confused. Why the fuck are there pugs right now?
I bet there's a lot of people thinking that.
Me out.
I thought that too, and then I was just thinking that, man, it's Game of Thrones. This place has dragons. I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah. It's not as bad as seeing like a Starbucks cup or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they had like a cell phone or some shit. Yeah. Take me out as much. Should we look up when pugs were in? What's the earliest known
when were pugs invented?
Yeah, let's see. Dude. I feel like this is something we should know. Here, I'll Google it. Damn. Okay.
Wait, what?
Pugs are an ancient breed of dog with roots dating back to 400 before Christ. So,
damn.
Pretty old. All right. Hey, we're allowing pugs. Man, they did their research. Fine.
Yeah, we allow it.
And she's the oldest, a higher born family, so they'd probably have, of course, a dog like that.
Nice.
Yeah, nice dogs. Okay, we can.
The oldest pug. The oldest pug that ever lived was 27 years old, and their name was Snooki.
Damn, bro. Shout out Snooki, man. That's fucking long-ass time.
Big shout out to Snooki.
All right, guys, slight pause for the next 30 to 60 seconds for our ad partners. Did you think that maybe Viserys was a little bit relieved too that it wasn't the white stag?
Oh yeah, he definitely looked like it because he had that anxiety of he's kind of superstitious. He believes in omens.
Yeah, he
believes in dreams.
He's very superstitious.
Yeah. When he saw that brown stag, that was, I think that
was a relief for him too, that he was thinking, okay, I made the right call here. We're good.
Yep. Such a funny guy. Believing in the wildest shit. Making these showed to her, massive decisions.
Yeah. That's proof. Magical. She's the true heir.
Okay, to be fair though, if there were dragons and shit, maybe I would believe in some stuff like that as well.
Absolutely, bro. I mean, the thing is, okay, he was wrong about his vision, or potentially he could still not be wrong, but the visions are a proven thing with the Targaryens. Aegon had one. Daenerys had them. There was the one who had the Doom of Valyria. So it's a known thing that Targaryens have these visions. So I can see why he'd believe that. But he did say, I was wrong about that one, or I think I was wrong. It drove my wife to death. And he was honest. He said, I never thought about having another wife, any of that stuff. He's doing this stuff because he's the king and he has to. Oh, I love when he was shitting on that Lannister guy too, about how he named her the heir.
That was great.
Love that. Immediately he's saying, fuck this guy. You are not going to marry my daughter. Hell no.
He got hella defensive over Rhaenyra, which was sick.
He was a bit sauce at that moment too, but yeah.
Oh my God. Dude was fucked up. He was so hungover the next day too.
Yeah, bro, absolutely. All right, I can see that quote being a meme when he said, "The gods are punishing me for my," I can't remember what the fuck he said, indulgences or something like that.
Oh, the next day when he says that.
Yeah. All right, let me skip ahead because I'm just at that part. Ooh, even the other thing too was Rhaenyra when she killed the
boar.
The boar, yeah, because at the beginning of the episode she was saying how she doesn't like to watch that, right? But she was going ham on that thing. I think that was just a lot of anger that she was releasing in that moment. And that parallel too with her bringing back the boar covered in blood, Daemon covered in blood, dragging back that boy's body. Clear parallel to each other there too. Yeah,
that whole thing there was a lot of parallels there.
Classic Game of Thrones stuff right there.
Just like, dude.
Everyone must have reacted the same way to me when he was, you should have him marry Aegon, 2-year-old son.
Oh my God. I was like, what the fuck?
Bro, what is wrong with you for that suggestion, Like at that point, you got to be looking at your hand thinking, okay, dude, something's up with you. You got to be scheming a bit here.
I know. That's out of pocket. 100%. What the fuck?
Also, the guy who plays Viserys, Paddy, I don't know how to say it. Considine?
Or no, Considine.
Mills.
Yeah,
no,
not Mills.
It's like Paddy Considine. He's a great actor, man. He's really killing it and doing a good job as Viserys, I think. Especially just from reading Fire and Blood and reading a lot of his wiki. He's just adding a lot of depth to this character that I never even thought about looking over the material.
Is it Paddy Considine?
Considine. Cool. Okay, Considine.
Okay.
Man, I'm skipping ahead here, but I think we've covered this episode pretty fucking good as far as just material in the episode.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't have a problem with I don't have a problem. I think all the performances have been really good so far. Alicent, Hightowers, Otto,
we didn't talk
Rhaenyra,
about Alicent.
Daemon.
Yeah, man. She's saying my husband or my king, but then she says Viserys at one point when she's really trying to get serious with him. And it's really interesting too, because it's at this point, it feels like she still supports Rhaenyra.
Yeah. But
like she wants her to be queen.
Yeah.
As of right now. Well,
because they were best friends before. Yeah. And something happened. A rift was put between them. And now there's...
Well, this is very different than what happens in the book. This is a different adaptation on this dynamic for sure than the book.
No, yeah. But there's still that rift there. There's that elephant in the room. And it's slowly kind of pushing them apart a little bit.
For sure.
I think. But they're still friends at this point.
I have a feeling that Rhaenyra is the one who's going to blow this up somehow. That is my theory. That there might be a bigger rift because of something Rhaenyra does. We'll see, though.
I agree. Because you see
she's
that
kind of hot-headed
Alicent,
sometimes.
Yeah. Alicent is a turtle. She takes her stress and she internalizes it, whereas Rhaenyra is more prone to like exploding or showing her emotions more.
Yeah.
So I think
the one
probably
too.
Be her.
In that scene when she's playing the music, she was the one being, I guess, distant.
Oh yeah, when they were going to talk with each other by the weirwood tree.
Yeah, but let's see. This could be different because now she's finally talked to her dad, and her dad says, "You will be the heir. You are my heir. I'm not changing this."
He did say that, and it was very concrete.
He said
resolute.
it though right after you admitted though that he had doubts. He did when he was drunk. That was a fucking interesting scene too.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, it's reasonable to have doubts about those things, I think.
I agree, but you admitted it to the mother of the kid that you had a doubt, so we'll see.
Fuck. So you think she's gonna...
I don't know. I think that maybe that seed is potentially now planted in her mind. Potentially. We'll see, though. He also was drunk, and that was before they caught the stag that wasn't white, which I feel like also what you're saying cemented a lot of things for him. And he was drunk at the time, too.
Yeah. So do you think Rhaenyra or Kristen are they going to tell anybody about the white heart that they saw?
I don't know,
Or
dude.
is it going to be between them?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't know. Because she didn't want to kill it, so she doesn't have proof. She brought the boar to show that, hey, she's strong. I could see her telling her dad. I don't know if this is going to be a super common known thing, though. You're right. That might be something that she keeps for herself or for the audience to see.
Yeah. Do you want to go to fan questions?
Yeah, so our main fan question, and this, I cannot specify who it was because it was actually several people who were replying about this, but people want to know, because it got confirmed that the Crabfeeder, he was wearing what is that mask called, Ross?
A harpy mask.
Sons of the Harpy.
The Sons of the Harpy, but the Sons of the Harpy were a group that were formed in rebellion. Daenerys, but the Harpies themselves, the Harpy is a symbol of the old Giscari Empire, who was in a series of wars with the Valyrian freehold in general. So
there's a lot
inception.
of tiebacks that Targaryens have always been against the Sons of Harpy or this ideology. Because weren't they slavers way back in the day, and the Valyrians fucked their days up? That's right.
That's why the Sons of the Harpy co-opted that symbolism, and they used that mask because they wanted to bring slavery back. And old Giscari is known for being a kingdom built on slavery. And that's actually where the Valyrians got slavery from too. After they defeated the Giscari, they adopted that practice from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good little tie back too.
Yeah.
Thank you for adding that, because I couldn't remember all the details for that specifically. But yeah, so it's confirmed that he is wearing an early version of that mask. He also had Greyscale, and so having Greyscale, and there's actually something else about him too. I think in the books, this is something that they clearly are not building off of, but in the books, he might have been a bastard of the Valerians, that family. That was like a rumor, but that clearly is nothing in this show because they didn't even go into this guy's background at all. He's some sort of prince. He's some sort of highborn from the Free Cities, for sure. And he has Greyscale. This is the big thing that was confirmed, which it very much looked like he did. I couldn't tell if it maybe was a burn that he had or if he's trying to burn it off or something in this, But so this is the big discussion because, for one, Daemon clearly has a lot of his blood on him. Yeah. And two, he was for sure touching his hand. I thought maybe that he wasn't touching his hand, but you know what? Let me just triple confirm right now, Ross, real quick. Give me a second here.
Yeah, because I only watched it once, but it did my
Bro, actually, dude.
It looked like, I thought he was dragging him by his sleeve. That's why
it looks like he's grabbing a bracelet, potentially, too.
Bracelet? Okay.
Okay, pause it at 1:03:11 timestamp. Do you see it? It looks like he's gripping a bracelet on the guy's hand. Also, fun fact for the listeners, the actor who plays the Crabfeeder, and Matt Smith, who plays Daemon Targaryen, they never met while filming. These scenes were somehow filmed on different days, which I guess that makes sense because you never see them actually fight each other. And this is a body sculpture or whatever, man, of the guy that they have here dragging out.
Wait, is that why they didn't show the fight? Because
I just think they don't show. I mean, we can talk about that's another thing too. Let's talk about that after. Let's go over this first.
Okay, it looks like he's holding onto a bracelet, but I think there's also definitely skin contact there.
I'm playing it a little bit more.
But it doesn't look like there's any grayscale on his hand right there either. I can't see any grayscale. It looks cleared.
Pause at 103:18. His hand looks disgusting.
It looks cleared at 103:12. Wait, I'm going to go 18.
So,
oh my God. Yeah, it looks quite disgusting there.
Yeah,
oh, there's
a lot of ways.
Grayscale on that bottom part.
So there's a couple of theories with this that we can talk about. One, it could be that he was just touching the bracelet, but it does look like he's possibly touching hands. I don't think that blood causes grayscale. I think you actually have to touch the grayscale. At least that's what Jorah said in Game of Thrones. He said if you touch it, then you could get it. Because I remember even he shook Daenerys' hand at one point, and it was the hand that didn't have it. So I don't think blood transfers it. I think it has to be direct contact. We also know that Targaryens can get grayscale because there was one of Jaehaerys' daughters, at least in the books. She died because she was out helping people with grayscale and she ended up getting it. And it doesn't specifically say that it killed her, but it says she died after getting grayscale. So I'm assuming it kills her. There also was, I think you were saying, another baby that had it, right?
From the Targaryens?
A Targaryen baby that had grayscale.
I don't know about another one that had grayscale, but one of the other children of Jaehaerys and Alysanne was actually Daenerys, who Daenerys that we know is named after. But she died of the shivers, which just goes to show, it doesn't really say anything about grayscale, but it does tie into the theory that a lot of people have that the Targaryens can't get sick. Well, also the Targaryens say that. But
they believe that. They believe their own hype.
Yeah. Based on my research, basically, it's just hype. It's kind of them just trying to separate themselves from
because they can control dragons and they have visions. It could be that some people, Daenerys, she's resistant to fire. So there could be some Targaryens that have heightened, I guess, resistance to disease. But I don't think...
I mean, but there's not really any basis for that.
Yeah, there's no basis. It seems random. It seems like it's not all of them either, of course. Some of them have been sick. There's clearly some in this line that are sick. Viserys is getting sick. He's having to chop off his fingers.
Yeah.
So they're not all resistant to stuff. So that brings us to then, okay, he's grabbing the bracelet. Or this could be a new, potentially something that they are going to build off of. And he has grayscale. And that could be something that they develop over the rest of the story. Or they're never going to touch on this and just assume, dude, he just didn't touch him and he doesn't have grayscale.
I'm assuming the last one because I think if that was going to be a plot point going into the future, they would have made some kind of explicit intention for that going forward. Because if you're just watching the episode, one, you can't even tell if he has grayscale. I mean, you kind of can, but you don't. It's not confirmed except for outside of the episode.
But I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they confirmed that after. Because that almost makes you think that, okay, they might build off of this somehow.
They might build it.
Yeah. But also, it didn't seem like any of his other soldiers had grayscale, so maybe this guy did contain it a bit. I think it also ties into giving him grayscale, ties into maybe why he was doing this. He was losing his fucking mind.
Yeah. And it was all over his face, so it was probably either close or already got to his brain a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was on the outs anyway here.
Yeah. I just feel like it's not going to be a plot point because there was no intentional shot. There was no establishing shot for that plot point moving forward, really.
Yeah, either way, I feel like Ryan Condal or someone is going to get asked about this at some point, one of the showrunners, and it's going to get cleared up somehow. I feel like we will get an answer. If it's not in the show, then one of the writers will post, we'll talk about it. And we will cover it on Culture Craver Thrones Facts. So make sure you're following those pages.
Hey, plug.
Plug, baby.
Plug in stuff.
All right.
Let's go.
What other questions we got? What'd you have?
Also, one last tidbit on that. Just because you do make contact with grayscale doesn't always mean that it's a guarantee that you're going to get it. Because we saw Tyrion.
True.
He came into contact with people with grayscale multiple times and never caught it.
True, that is a good point. You don't necessarily get it 100% of the time.
Yeah. But that was just the last point. I don't have anything else to say on that.
Plus, you can fucking cure it somehow. Maybe that's some lost knowledge.
Yeah. I saw a theory, someone said, because he read an old textbook, Sam, right? when he was curing Jorah. So they were saying like that knowledge had to come from somewhere. So maybe this will tie the show, be another tie back into Game of Thrones.
This is fun though, because this is actually something that has in the books, Fire and Blood, there's no mention of Daemon having Greyscale. So this could be a new thing that no one knew about, or it's nothing. But it's fun to have this theory about it because it's something that, okay, we actually can't look this up and talk about it and know what the answer is because they could do something different. George R. Martin said that this is, the Game of Thrones TV universe is not the same. Obviously, I mean, like where he's going with his books, obviously not. But even in this, they're taking different directions with a lot of these characters and stuff. So it's two different things. There could be something they do with this. We'll see. Okay.
What I was going to say a while ago.
Let's do like probably wrap it up within 5 minutes because I'm done. Get going here.
One of my like, it's not even a big complaint, but I thought the pacing was a little too rushed at parts. It wasn't bad though. It didn't take me out of it. It just.
What you mean? Exactly?
It was more like there were certain characters that I wish would have been built up a little bit more, like the Crabfeeder. I'd rather be shown than told. That's kind of where I'm coming from. Because some things they just said, oh, this happened, but I wanted to see it. Like, I would have been more emotionally invested if I got to see it.
I think the Crabfeeder is interesting, but in the book, he's just kind of a minor character. He's really just a plot point to get Daemon going in the story and to get Daemon connected with the sea snake. That is something that happens in the book, and I'm fine with him that he's just a minor villain in the grand scheme of it, because really the story is going to be about the Targaryens. So to me, it's fine. I think it was well done, and Targaryens, they like their little solo runs. Him, Jon Snow with Battle of the Bastards, I like that too. Yeah, man. Yeah. I just thought it was a well done scene. And I actually saw this complaint too, that people were saying, bro, why didn't he get hit with more arrows? But dude, that's not as fucking close as you think. He was pretty far out there.
No, it's a hard shot.
Yeah, it's a hard shot. And he did get hit, 3 times? Bro, that guy got hit 4 times in this episode, man.
Yeah.
God damn, man.
Tanking him.
Yeah. And you'd probably lose from how far away that they're shooting. There probably would be some loss of velocity on the arrow and everything, man. I mean, they were far away from where he was when he started running.
But they did have a height difference, so they would have that going for them.
True,
like
but
they were shooting down on him.
We need to look up some Game of Thrones science to see, like, get some archers in here and, tell us, hey, man, how much velocity would this lose? Is it because I feel like it wasn't that big of a stretch, and if this is the first time we're seeing him do something just completely bold and like no fucks given, he doesn't care if he dies situation, and eventually that's probably going to get the best of him.
I see where people are coming from. It was a little bit of a stretch for me, but it wasn't that bad. The reason it worked, I think, in Battle of the Bastards a little better was because Jon Snow had previously died, and he was brought back to life by the Lord of Light, by Melisandre, right? And so you kind of knew he had a reason to live. He wasn't just going to die out on this battlefield. So there was kind of like a supernatural element to that, where you're thinking, in my mind anyways, I was thinking it's insane that he's dodging all these arrows, and it's probably because there's some kind of prophecy, there's some kind of magic going on behind the scenes. In my mind, it was making up for it.
Possibility, bro, but he did get hit 3 times too. So it's not like he got away from all of it the whole time. He dodged 2 pretty huge shots, and then the 3rd round got him, and he managed to get to some decent cover before backup came in, and you got a dragon coming in. So bro, he was fucking going ham in there, man. I was
taking people out.
Yeah, I love that. I established, Targaryens, man, they were fighters too. I love that. I thought that was I really enjoyed that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it, man. I forgot to tell you, this episode, 9.0 IMDb, highest rated of the 3 so far.
Shit. Damn.
9.0. First episode was 8.8. Second one was 8.5. So just very well reviewed so far. Everyone's loving this show. Man, and this is only going to get crazier from here. I'm surprised I was actually kind of surprised that this storyline with up to this point got done in 3 episodes. So from here, man, there's going to be some time jumps. There's going to be some crazy stuff happening in the next 7 episodes.
It's about to fucking pop off, man.
All right, everyone. So that is our House of the Dragon E3 podcast. We'll be back next week doing more House of the Dragon, and we'll hopefully be talking Rings of Power. Want to give a shout out to Alex _the Butcher. for shooting us some DMs about the podcast. Heart of Emojo, T Carnes 2, Solomon 8128. Thank you guys for always sending in questions and just still listening to the podcast after all these years. We appreciate it so much. If you're new listening, drop us a rating review on Apple and Spotify. Make sure to follow us on Twitter too, @CultureCrave. We're dropping news on everything House of Dragon and any other show you guys are watching. Make sure to follow us on Thrones_facts too. Our podcast is @CultureCrave Pod. All right, guys. Yeah, that's it, man. Thank you all. See you next week.